Hello and welcome to another video. I'm AJBL1 and this is the second installment of Tips, Tricks, Facts and Glitches, a series in which I attempt to show the kinds of things I just said in-game with the things I've known for a long time, and whatever you guys send through my Discord server. I mainly took inspiration from what Baterkou did and tried to apply it to MRT. So to start off, in C1, currently, you can find classic Tokyo's Rainbow Bridge outside of the map bounds. To find it, you basically have to take the route I'm using and follow what I'm doing. However, it is impossible to get to this bridge without being able to use admin commands. Trust me, I tried before I became one. Reaching top speed in MRT was usually a bit annoying, but you should no longer feel annoyed by attempting to reach it, as there is one simple trick that might work for you. Simply put, just try to make your PC be extremely laggy or make it run slow, and by tanking the FPS, you can launch the car to reach really high top speeds. This one was sent by someone external to me, particularly TTFG327 Real. With the glitch he sent, you can make the game become pinkish with a little bit of blur. All you need to do is get in your car's driver's seat, go to the garage and press Shift C. Afterwards, reset your character, get back in your car and exit, and you'll see the result of this. There are a few games made by the people that were related or worked in MRT a while back, such as Stella for example. In these games, you can find cars that quite possibly never made the final cut or got removed. The links for these are in the description. Some cars are the BMW 1M series, Ford GT, Ferrari 360 Modena and the Dodge Viper. There are multiple maps in MRT, and a lot of them have interiors in buildings, and multiple little places where you can explore and see new things. Funnily enough, a type of these interiors that are located in Shirosato and New Tokyo or other maps are some clothes shops which are actually functional, as you can buy the clothes in them. Currently there is one in Otsuki, New Tokyo, Shirosato and probably some other map I forgot about. MRT hadn't had BACKFIRE for quite some time as they got removed back in 2020. But thanks to the addition of a new tuning option, we can make any car in the game BACKFIRE by using ECU Stage 3. All you need to do to unlock it is to pay a higher fee upfront that can be reduced by obtaining a higher manufacturer level. And after buying all 3 stages of ECU, you can enable the option for BACKFIRE. Following along with the trend of interiors and maps, another interior that is actually interesting are the ones which have multiple NPCs which you can talk to. Just explore around, go to multiple maps and you'll be able to find quite a lot of them, if you're interested in seeing this. Alongside the interiors, let's talk about the maps they're located in, more primarily Mount Otsuki. Being one of the most popular maps, of course, people have found a way to break them somewhat, in terms of how fast you can take them. People have found ways to cut a lot of the track, like this run by Redulus, in which she managed to get a 159 downhill with the run. Even though you can't actually get a real lap with this as in one count, it's still a fun thing to see and to try and do. There is one little feature in MRT that has created both a bunch of problems, worked for a long time, and been a part of the game. Of course, I'm talking about Player Versus, a feature introduced back in 2018, which worked out for multiple things. This is basically a race mode which is point-to-point, in which you can choose any path you want, and for a long time it was actually broken and didn't work. After it was actually fixed somewhere in 2022, you could break the economy with a method that made you obtain nearly 25 million every hour, and nowadays it got patched but still works for fun somewhat. MRT has had multiple broken economy methods, from 25 million player versus which I just touched, to a glitch for getting 8 million every hour with a cut on City Showdown, 30-second Goliath Marathons too with another cut, but none have been worse than the 17th of March of 2023. There was an update in which the price of cars were increased dramatically, up to 40 million and more, but all servers were not shut down, which in turn meant people could buy cars for cheap at 6 million, then sell them for 3, 4 or 5 times the price, which destroyed the economy for the better part of a few hours. MRT has multiple camera glitches, which do help to spice up from the normal 4 cameras we have, which are the orbit version, the fixed third cam, the dynamic third cam, and the hood cam. You can also have a roof cam by zooming in while in the orbit camera mode to get this view. But we can do 3 other glitches. One of these I like to call the MCLA glitch. All you need to do is enter the car and set it to the fixed third cam. Afterwards, leave the car, enter cinematic cam, and get in it. Afterwards, if the camera isn't like set low, just press B and it should switch and it will work. The second and third way are first person and a window glitch. Step 1. Get in your car and set the camera mode to orbit. Then enter the garage and scroll in. Step 2. Just exit the garage and scroll in, and you'll see the first person view of any car. The third glitch is basically follow the 2 steps from up above, but use lock switch, so that in HD cars you'll be able to see the game from the window, and in an LHD car you'll be able to see the passenger side view. You might have been a little bit fooled by how fast you think you're going in this game. Even though the speedometer of your car says that it's in kmh, this is far from the case. MRT's speedo is actually set in FPS, or stops per second, to make it seem like you're going faster. If you set your first gear to 100 kmh in the dyno, you'll see it goes past this usually. The conversion is about 1 kmh to 1.09 FPS, and it is the reason why sometimes the dyno figures of the kph don't actually match up with what you see in the cars. As with interiors of maps, you might have been able to see these little signs across all the maps, usually at spawn and such. These little text signs above spawners and such, they seem to be untouchable, but this is actually not true. You can actually make the signs say anything you want by clicking on them and just typing. However, it seems that it's only on the client side, so no one else on the server can see what you say. However, it is still funny to do. Here is a small off area limit that you can access from Shirosato. Just follow these 2 routes and you'll be able to access a small zone that can be used for rallying, and there are 2 points in which you can access it. To the south of the map with some fabric mountains, as I like to call them, and to the north of the map, which is basically a huge mountain that you can go across. And there's also no way to actually climb it unless you have admin powers and just set yourself to fly me. There was an infamous tuning style that was made possible by a glitch when tuning first launched back in 2022. This glitch was called squat tuning, something which would affect the driving characteristics of the car by affecting something called incline compensation, which made the chassis think that the car was going up an incline, which would in turn increase the torque of the cars, making them way faster than they should be by putting the rear suspension as low as you can go and the front suspension as high as possible. Thankfully, this was patched, but not completely. This glitch still works, but this time it messes with the drag physics of the car, not the torque, making it have a little bit of a higher top speed since it isn't as affected as it would be usually by drag. The skateboard is a game pass made for MRT, and it's literally just a skateboard, but when purchased and used, as soon as it spawns, it will have a hitbox. If you spawn it, you can do a lot of trolling with it, by stopping cars dead in your tracks as soon as they hit it, and you can piss off a lot of people with it too. When I say MRT has a lot of variety and sort of consistency in its car list, I mean it. And besides this, there's also something about it, which is the huge amount of cars that are actually in game. As of this video, there are about 151 cars including limiteds. This huge number, and in turn with the decline of how much money you can make in this game, have made it a little bit of a grindfest, since it suffers from inflation. According to a video made over 2 years ago, don't watch it, it ain't really that good, the total amount of money you needed to buy every single car in the game was 429,048,700 yen. Nowadays, thanks to the inflation and the addition of Tier 4 cars, this has actually ballooned into 750,106,009 yen. That is an increase of nearly 74% over the actual amount, which is actually really crazy. considering we aren't even taking tuning into account. So let's say that we want to unlock the tuning option for every single car in the game without discounts. Let's add up all the unlock prices for the suspension, the camber, the height, the ECU, the weight reduction, the gears, and that. That comes out to a total of 14,750,000 yen. And then let's buy all stage 3 weight reductions and ECU parts. And these parts alone make about 80% more than the original price of the car. So if we multiply the unlock prices by the amount of cars and add up 180% of 750,106,009 yen, this gives us a combined total for tuning alone of 3,577,440,816 yen. And if we add that up with the original price to buy your cars, it would literally cost you 4,327,546,825 yen, or about 308 hours of non-stop 8 people grinding to actually get every single car in the game tuned. I have 999 billion in this game, and even I haven't bought all parts, let alone include the body kits for every single car. So remember the consistency I was talking about? The same thing can be said for a number of cars, as there is a way to break them while tuning. And no, I'm not talking about squat tuning, this time I'm talking about a flying glitch. For example, grab a small K car like the Beat or the Cappuccino. Afterwards, crank up the dampening and measure the stiffness and camber, and you can make something like this happen without many issues, except for the fact that you will maybe create a tornado from how fast your car will spin in the air. Remember the economy? Another part besides money in this game is the XP levels. This is a sort of currency which tracks basically how much you've played racers or done stuff that contributes to getting XP itself. This value works for manufacturer levels, which are the amount of XP obtained per brand, which work to obtain discounts for unlocking tuning categories for each car. These are also gonna be featured when the game comes out of alpha, and your progress in this category will still count, so you'll never lose the progress of your manufacturer levels. One thing that isn't always consistent in MRT are the car sounds. I'm not referring to the different engine sounds across updates, but rather how easy it is to break the sound itself. If you drive a car while under a tunnel and reset, the version of the sound that plays when you're in a tunnel will stay, mainly the reverb part, making the sound more distorted, and it can only be fixed by rejoining the game. Even though cars in MRT can be hard to launch, there is a way to do a sort of launch control with these cars. All you need to do is to park your car in first gear and rev it out in manual, while holding clutch. You have to play Roblox in a version where you can see the white bar above the game, that has the name and the part that allows you to move it, close it, or make it full screen, or whatever, or hide it. Whatever it is, then what you have to do is to rev the car and put it into first gear, then hold the clutch and keep it there. Afterwards, just click on the white bar as if you were to move the application while it's on your screen. Then the screen will actually freeze, and your car will launch extremely fast as long as you release the clutch while the game is in its frozen state. Talking about the car list again, there are a few Tier 2 cars that you can get by a glitch or an unintended feature in the game. If there's a limited car you never got, but it's ranked as being a Tier 2 car, you can buy every single Tier 2 car that exists and then claim the final reward. In turn, this will give you a limited car, such as the AE111 or a different limited Tier 2 car. So that is all for now, and thanks so much for watching this video. I've been a little bit busy with stuff lately, but I got a few YouTube projects that I'm working on. If you want to talk with me, my Discord server link is down in the description, and I have a Patreon if you wanna check that out. So let me know suggestions you have for my videos in the comments if you want, and see ya in the next one. Goodbye.